Day 32 is in the books. Ironically, saying in the books because today I got a pallet of books to attempt to resell on Amazon. First time doing it, so fingers crossed it all goes well. I've already sifted through the entire pallet. Now I'm going through and getting approved for any DVDs or any books that I'm not approved for, as well as writing down what all the profits are for. I just, scan through the whole palette and put all the profitable ones in a pile. And then, like I said, now I'm going to be totaling up what I'm going to potentially make, because it is potential. The books have to actually sell first, which you determine by using certain softwares and stuff like that. And we'll see how it works. But something that I have noticed, obviously these are about being sober for weed, but now that I'm past the 30-day challenge mark, these are mainly going to be more of just like daily vlogs of kind of how I'm feeling or what I've gone through the day, and not really, they'll still touch on being sober, but it's not something that is even on my mind to where I need to smoke, I need this. I'm pretty much over it, as far as not only the urge, but also it's like, it's just time to grow up, and it's just funny how it's literally like today was an alright day. I'm doing my best to live in the moment. But like yesterday I made the video and I'm talking about how, like literally in the title, it's like so many things you worry about don't matter. And here I am worrying about so many things today that ultimately don't matter. And worry comes from living in the future rather than living in the present. And it's obviously easier said than done. That's why here I am, feeling the way I'm feeling. And ultimately, I've been selling on Amazon for about 11 months, going on 12 months. After 4 months, I hit $20,000 in revenue. So with 40 to 50% profit margins, but we'll just say 40, selling used DVDs and new DVDs. And I just lucked into a crazy opportunity. It was amazing. And obviously you can make millions and millions of dollars selling on Amazon, but once you move into wholesale, it's a lot more difficult. And so basically, about 6 months ago, I got into a wholesale course and I just fumbled the bag. I was so focused on smoking weed. I was talking to my mom about this. I was spending anywhere from $600 to $1,100 a month on weed, $600 minimum, because my mom had a medical card and she would go and get weed for me, and I would just pay her. And every time she went, I was paying at least $250 to $300 for what she would buy, and that was like every 2 weeks. And then that's not including, if I would run out early or if I just felt like smoking something different, I'd go to the vape shops and get some of that THCA or whatever the fuck, the shit with the jelly holes or the carts, and just get blasted with that. And I just blew so much money. And it's important to save or prepare for the future, but not live in the future. And so I just was so in the moment and felt like I was on top of the world, and got cocky, got arrogant, and, had every opportunity at that time where I was bringing in anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000, even $8,000 a month sometimes, for like 6 months, 5 months straight. And, where is that money now? Gone. Like I was just blowing it. Some things I bought that I still have, like buying a skim board, really like a skim board, and then honestly like a new laptop, gaming computer. But a majority of the stuff was just garbage, going out to eat all the time, blowing money on weed. And ultimately I bring all that up because, if I just would have been sober and clear-minded, one, I wouldn't have blown so much money on dumb shit. Two, I wouldn't have fumbled the bag on the money I was making to where I actually could have been successful at wholesale by now already, because I had the capital then to actually put into it, but I wasn't taking it serious. And I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off until, long behold, 4 or 5 months in the future, and I run out of my solid DVD supply where I was making good money, and I run out of products to pretty much sell, and I get put in this position now to where now I'm kind of in panic mode. And it's, again, it's easier said than done to not worry, to live in the present, because worry comes from living in the future. But like, in 2 months, I really don't know how I'm going to be paying my bills, bro. And I'm just praying to God that, one, I can live in the moment and focus on the time that I do have now in the in the present. But two, that I can get my act together and actually get done what I need to get done. And I just pray that these books, and that I'm able to find more, that I'm just basically able to get back on my feet so I can start and find more products, and, you know, find winning products and start making money again, to where I'm not in this position again. And I don't know why every time that things start to go good in my life, I ruin it. I really do. I fucking ruin it. And it's disheartening because I've done this so many times to myself, man. Over and over and over and over and over. It's just a fucking repeat cycle. The only difference this time is, like, I'm not going to be quitting Amazon just because it's getting tough. But it's just like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I have no self-respect to focus enough on the present and to prepare for the future? Not live in the future, but prepare and actually put money in the right things, right places, to get me to the point of freedom. But instead, I was so in the present and got so cocky and arrogant, thinking I was on top of the world, you know, that I blew my money, and I wasn't even focusing really on buying new products or spending the time to find a solid connection for other products. And so here I am, the day after yesterday, making a video saying to not worry about, to most things you worry about don't matter. And I'm praying in 5 months, because that's what kind of in 5 years for sure, I don't think I'll be worrying about what I'm worrying about now. But am I going to be worrying about paying my bills 5 months from now? I don't know. And that's why it's something that's so hard on it's so much weight on my shoulders, because I just keep doing this to myself over and over. It's like, when am I going to learn my fucking lesson, bro? And then I want to blame God as if it's his fault. Like today, you know, I'm sitting there getting pissed and blaming God, when it's like, I'm the one that did all this, bro. I'm the one that put myself in this position fucking again. Because you reap what you sow. And so I got cocky, I got arrogant, I stopped focusing, took my eye off the ball. And so there's a common saying of, what you do now, you'll see the results in 90 days or 6 months. And that's exactly what happened. I wasn't focused on building the business, even though I was still growing the business in the time, it felt like. But for whatever reason, I felt like the DVD supply would never run out, and I would always have good products, and I was just on top of the world. And then here I am, 6 months later, reaping those rewards of fucking slacking, of fucking being cocky, of fucking taking things for granted and not realizing the opportunity I had then. And so now again, I'm back in hustle and grind mode, worried and stressed, overthinking about so many things, including money, obviously, how I'm going to pay my bills the next month. And this is like aside from selling weed when I sold weed back in the day, you know, those 5 to 6 months of hitting 20K in a row, I felt like I was on top of the world. It hasn't been that good in so long that I mean, I can't say it enough. I literally just got cocky and took my eye off the ball. And now I have to rebuild, not from ground zero, but it kind of feels that way. You know, it feels like I'm just restarting again, even though I am restarting higher than where I was 11 months ago when I first started. You know, I was doing anywhere from $600 to $1,000 in sales a day, which again, 40-50% of that was actual like profit because of what I was selling. And now the DVDs and stuff, because the quality went down, and I've had to just like rush into it and get more. Like, it's hard to find. I was selling a shit ton of new DVDs too, and I was literally paying 50 cent or 70 cents max after sending them into Amazon after all my costs. So it was pretty much impossible to lose money. And so many of them were worth money that every single box that I sent in was worth anywhere from like $250 to literally $1,000 in potential profits. And then I made some mistakes along the way and I've learned from them, but now I'm in those trenches again, you know, and having to buy, you know, tons of used DVDs that are worth fucking, literally, you might make 50 cents on them. So you're literally barely breaking even on them after you send them into Amazon. Just trying to keep the money flowing, just trying to keep any sort of revenue coming in to where now I'm barely doing 200, if I'm lucky, $300 in sales a day, if I'm lucky. And I'm keeping maybe 30% if I'm lucky. More close to what seems like 20%. And I've seen my lowest payouts ever since I first started. There were days that I was paying myself $200 to $400 a day. After you get the ball rolling, you can pay yourself every day on Amazon. And now there's days that I literally can only pay myself $30, $50. And I have to still be grateful for that because it is money coming in, but it's like, what a huge shift from doing $600 to $1,000 a day and having that money on a 2-week rolling basis. So it stacks up and Amazon holds it as a reserve. So then it stacks up to a point to where every single day I'm able to literally withdraw $200 to $500, even $1,000 on a few days. Like, mind blowing. I was like, no way. I just was able to pay myself $1K for the day. And now I'm back down to like, today was, you know, I'm grateful. I was able to pay myself $130, but my cash reserves that Amazon holds because you sell so much at one point was almost in the 5-figure range. And now it's down to $600 on like a rolling basis, between $600 to $800 of what Amazon's holding, which is just, it just is a very eye-opening experience to how close to the line that I'm getting, how close to the edge I am for this all falling apart. And I'm just extremely disappointed in myself, to say the least. And I deserve it all. I mean, I did this to myself. It's not God's fault, but God knew it was going to happen because God knew what I was doing. Literally, and at that point too, I wasn't even, like, I believed in God, but I definitely hadn't accepted Jesus into my life. And so now I have these days where I'm, I'm finally believing in Jesus and now my life's just getting worse. That's not why. It's because I put myself in this position 6 fucking months ago, and now I'm reaping those fucking rewards. I'm reaping what I'm sowing, or what I sowed. Not that much fucking effort. So now I'm seeing what happens when you don't fucking put in the effort and keep the ball rolling and actually work hard towards something that you know you can make happen. And gosh, if I just would have focused on wholesale and wasn't smoking the weed and had more clarity back then, 6 months ago, who knows what type of revenue I would be doing now. And again, it feels like I'm almost starting, like literally 3 months ago was like 4 months ago was the last month I hit 20K. And then the month after that was 14. And then last month I barely hit 11K. This month we are at the 20th or 21st, whatever day it is. And I am barely over $4,000 in revenue, which again, if I'm lucky, we can call it 25% revenue, which would be $1,000, which I think maybe I've made more than that this month. But that also could just be from the cash reserves that have, slowly been dwindling down, like I said, to where now there's only like $600 to $700 on a daily basis based on what I sell the previous day being held by Amazon, which is why now it's just getting slower and lower and lower. And I'm just tired of doing this to myself. So I'm not gonna keep yapping. I just want this to be a lesson to, like, dude, you reap what you sow. You literally reap what you sow. So put the fucking work in now, and in 90 days to 6 months, you're gonna see all that hard work pay off. But just because you see the hard work pay off doesn't mean you get to slack ass and fuck up. Just don't do what I'm doing. Use me. If you want to judge me, hate on me, laugh at me, I don't care, but use me as a fucking lesson. Because I've done this so many times that I could just name off. And if you guys want me to make a video naming all that, like literally, I would, I gladly will. I'll write them all down just so I don't forget them. But if you want me to make a video on all the times that I've self-sabotaged myself to where if I wouldn't have done that, who fucking knows where I would be and how much further along I would be. And this goes to now I'm living in the past by even worrying about that or thinking about it and being down on myself, but it still is the truth. So I'm trying to live in the present, but I still have to accept the truth of what I have done to get to this moment right here. Not just in the last 6 months, but every single time that I have self-sabotaged when it got hard or when I got burnt out or when I lost hope. And if I just would have kept going and kept putting in the same amount of effort, no matter how I felt, no matter what result I was getting at the time, or no matter, what was going on in my life, if I just would have kept going. And so truly, use me as a fucking lesson to not be like me. Do not be like Logan. Okay? Be a fucking winner. I know I'll be back on top one day. Or feel like I'm on top. But, I just keep telling God, like, I will not do this ever again. I will not continue to fail myself and let myself down due to the lack of focus and clarity. And I will remain humble, and I will remain grateful and happy to live in the present moment and continue to put in the work towards what I know I need to work towards until one day I finally can actually have freedom and work on other things that are more enjoyable, or work and make money from what I love, like YouTube. Like 2026, I know that I'm going to be monetized on YouTube. I've never been closer in my life, but that's obviously not paying the bills. But if I were to quit, like I have even quit in the past with social media, or got burnt out, or stopped posting on YouTube for whatever reasons, again, I've just self-sabotaged in so many different areas of life, not even business, to where I probably would be living the dream that I wanted to live by now if I just wouldn't have done that shit to myself. So again, use me as a fucking lesson, and please don't be like me. Don't look up to me. Do not think that I got it figured out. Do not think that I'm fucking some super smart person that never makes mistakes. Like I said in yesterday's video, like, I am so vulnerable and open. I don't give a shit what people think anymore. And so one day I'm happy, one day I'm sad. I'm not like these fake fucking influencers or gurus that are gonna, oh, everything's fucking good, dude. Life's fucking amazing all the fucking time, because it's not. I just don't know how people can do that shit. I'm a real ass motherfucker. And if I'm having a shit day like I have today and I have shit on my mind that I need to say, then I'm just gonna say it, bro. And if I'm super happy and laughing and having a good time and everything's all fine and dandy and that's how I'm feeling, then that's how the video will be that day. Like yesterday's was pretty fucking nice. And then I just have to be real with myself and make this video because this is the truth. This is what I am dealing with. And not to mention, this is a random final fact of today, you know. Had to take my cats to get some dental work. And I love them so much. However, it just goes to show how incapable I am. And I want 10 kids for whatever reason. I've always said I wanted 10 kids. Dude, I can barely take care of myself. I had to take my cats to get dental work. I thought I was gonna maybe be paying $500-600. $1,400 gone, dude. Which put me even more in that mode of what the fuck am I gonna do in 2 months if I don't get my fucking act together? $1,400 gone in a single fucking debit card swipe. Because I didn't even ask, regardless of even if I asked, it still had to be done, you know, because I've never had my cat's teeth cleaned. And, you know, luckily I even went to the vet for whatever reason a few months ago for checkups finally, after never going for checkups. And finding out that, you know, one cat needed their teeth cleaned and might have to have a few teeth removed. And then, so then I go to take the other one for sure. And then it's the exact opposite. The cat, my first cat, Stormy, that I took first, was the one that they thought was gonna have to have 2 teeth removed. Ended up not needing any removed. And then my cat, Sunny, who's 2 years younger, is the cat that they didn't think was gonna have to have teeth removed, and then did have to have teeth removed. And even then, my stupid ass thought that that would just be included and that no matter what, you know, it's gonna be $250-300 per animal. $1,400, dude. On top of last week buying this fucking pallet for $700. And so I have to make at least $700 just to break even on these books. My credit card is almost maxed out again, like literally $100 to go if I'm lucky. It's just like, I keep getting hit with these fucking bricks in my face. Sonny, stop doing that. You're gonna freaking hurt yourself. See, like, some fake influencer would literally cut that part out. Like, my cat was just being a goofball. But, you know, like I said, my credit card's almost maxed the fuck out again. I'm still in debt that I'm trying to pay off. And it's just like, I feel like I'm constantly continuing to put myself back into a position where I feel like I'm floating, finally, the ship is sailing, and then for whatever reason, I have to go and sink the fucking ship, and now I'm barely above water, and the ship is going down fast. Very fucking fast. And so ultimately, please pray for me. I'm gonna keep praying for myself and praying to God, and just not even praying for always asking, because I feel like that's all people pray for is me, ask. It's like I'm just trying to pray to God that I'm grateful for that I'm even alive and that I can even talk and see and touch and feel and smell, like the main things. And that I have my animals and that they're healthy now, you know, and that they're good, and that, you know, my mom is alive, and I have great friends, and I do have people on YouTube that support me now and aren't always like hating on me like I used to always get. And you know, I just need to be grateful and focus on now and put in the work. But ultimately, the moral of this story is you reap what you sow, good or bad. And the second moral of the story is to not look up to me like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Do not look up to me like you want to be like me. Do not think that I have it figured out. Simply do not be like Logan, because Logan is a fucking goofball, dude. Logan has a lot to learn. Logan is just starting this journey of realizing how many times I've taken shit for granted and ruined this shit over and over and over again. So please, for the love of God, please, for the love of God, do not look up to me and do not aim to be like me, because I don't know what the fuck that I'm doing. But at least I'm 32 days sober from weed, and I'm slowly realizing, growing up and getting my fucking life together at 30 years old, man. I love you. God bless. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves me. Live in the present. And I'll see you on day 33.